BYD is pushing the electric vehicle industry forward again with the reveal of its second-generation Blade battery, a new technology designed to dramatically reduce charging times.
A battery that not only charges as quickly as it takes to grab a coffee, but also lasts for 740,000 miles, longer than most cars on the road today. This isn't a futuristic concept. BYD is putting this powerhouse battery into vehicles you can buy now. For decades, the slow charging times and limited lifespan of EV batteries have kept many drivers loyal to gasoline cars. BYD's bold claim challenges that status quo and threatens to rewrite the rules for electric vehicles worldwide. What exactly has BYD achieved, and why are major automakers suddenly on edge? Breaking the battery limits. Electric vehicles have made significant strides in recent years, yet four main challenges continue to slow their mass adoption: charging speed, lifespan, driving range, and infrastructure. Most consumers have grown impatient with the long wait times at chargers. Filling a typical electric car battery from empty to 80% can take over an hour on a fast charger, while a gasoline fill-up is done in minutes. This stark contrast creates what many call logistics anxiety, where finding and using a charger becomes a major inconvenience. Battery lifespan adds another layer of concern. Traditional EV batteries degrade over time, often losing significant capacity after just 8 to 10 years. This degradation not only reduces driving range, but devalues the vehicle itself, leading to fears of expensive replacement costs or losing usability entirely. For many potential buyers, this is a hidden cost that undermines the appeal of electrification. Range anxiety, the fear that a car won't last a trip without a recharge, still haunts millions despite improvements. Even though many vehicles now boast several hundred miles per charge, the uneven distribution of charging stations and the slow recharge times amplify these worries, especially outside urban centers. The reality is that charging deserts persist, leaving drivers uncertain about long-distance travel. Finally, grid strain becomes a pressing issue as more EVs connect to power networks. Deploying ultra-fast charging stations en masse risks overloading local grids unless paired with smart infrastructure and energy storage solutions. This is more than a technical challenge. It's a social one that could slow the EV revolution if left unaddressed. These four walls — slow charging, limited lifespan, insufficient range, and grid pressure — form the core barriers in the current landscape. They explain why some drivers stick to gas cars, despite environmental and financial incentives to switch. This context sets the stage for something remarkable. Imagine if one battery could erase every single one of these issues simultaneously, offering fast charging like a fuel pump, a lifespan longer than the car itself, and extended range that outperforms nearly every current EV on the market. Such a battery would reset the industry's expectations and force the entire ecosystem to rethink what's possible. BYD claims to have delivered exactly that. While other makers promise improvements, BYD's new battery announcement isn't just theoretical. It's already slated for cars buyers can purchase this year. The significance of this cannot be overstated, as it challenges long-held assumptions about electric vehicle limitations. Before fully understanding this breakthrough, it's essential to look back at who BYD is and why their decades-long pursuit of battery innovation lends credibility to their claims. BYD's three-decade obsession. BYD's story begins in 1995 with Wang Chuanfu, a chemist raised in rural poverty who borrowed approximately 250,000 yuan to start a battery company in Shenzhen. Without government backing or high-tech factories, Wang applied a keen understanding of chemistry and reverse-engineered Japanese lithium-ion batteries, gradually improving them while driving costs down. This humble beginning laid the groundwork for BYD's innovation. By 2005, just 10 years in, BYD had captured over half of the global mobile phone battery market, supplying giants like Nokia and Motorola. That success wasn't an accident, but a testament to Wang's relentless focus on mastering battery chemistry rather than chasing branding or hype. BYD's batteries became known for reliability and affordability, Turning to electric vehicles was a bold leap in 2002 when BYD acquired a struggling car manufacturer and promised to build EVs. Skeptics laughed, but industry legends like Charlie Munger saw Wang as a visionary comparable to Edison, Ford, and Bill Gates combined. Munger's confidence helped bring Warren Buffett on board, providing validation to what many dismissed as a moonshot. BYD's Blade battery, launched in 2020, was the result of 3 decades of obsession with perfecting battery cells. Unlike competitors focused on battery packs or vehicle design, BYD doubled down on the cell itself, achieving breakthroughs in safety, durability, and cost. Singular focus fueled their rise in electric vehicle sales. By 2022, BYD quietly overtook Tesla as the world's best-selling plug-in electric vehicle manufacturer, a milestone few expected. This was no fluke, but the payoff of years of incremental improvements concentrated on chemistry and production. Their cell expertise became the backbone of this success. While the rest of the world debated battery limitations, BYD continued developing new chemistries and manufacturing methods, laying the foundation for a truly transformative product. This commitment culminates in their latest Blade Battery 2.0, launched in March 2026, which promises to rewrite the rules on charging speed, longevity, and range. Understanding BYD's history clarifies why their new battery isn't just marketing fluff, but a credible technological leap with deep roots. This history leads us naturally to the details of the Blade Battery 2.0 itself. The Blade Battery 2.0 specs. BYD unveiled the Blade Battery 2.0 at a major technology event in Shenzhen on March 5, 2026. Revealing specifications that stunned the industry. The first headline, the battery charges from 10% to 70% in just 5 minutes, roughly the time needed to grab a coffee. Even at an extreme cold of -30 degrees Celsius, it still achieves fast charging from 20 to 97% in 12 minutes. These charging speeds are not only a massive leap forward, but could dismantle one of the biggest frustrations EV drivers face: lengthy recharge stops. In comparison, the average US mid-size EV takes more than an hour to charge at a typical 150 kilowatt fast charger. BYD's battery promises convenience previously unique to gasoline fueling. Range is equally impressive. The Blade Battery 2.0 offers over 1,000 kilometers on China's CLTC test cycle, about 621 miles. While the CLTC test tends to be about 35% rosier than the EPA cycle used in the US, the real-world driving range will still comfortably outpace most electric vehicles currently on the market. But the showstopper is the longevity guarantee BYD printed right on its warranty. A lifespan of 1.2 million kilometers, or roughly 745,000 miles. This means the battery is expected to outlast the vehicle it powers, a figure that rewrites industry expectations about what battery lifespan can look like. Technically, the theoretical cycle ceiling extends even beyond this number, implying unparalleled durability. Such endurance mitigates fears of costly battery replacements that have long deterred EV buyers, effectively erasing a common objection to electric vehicle ownership. BYD is no unknown player in battery manufacturing. They rank as the world's second-largest battery maker, supplying major automakers like Toyota, Hyundai, and notably Tesla, which used BYD's first-generation blade cells in its Model Ys made in Berlin. This pedigree lends further weight to the credibility of the Blade Battery 2.0 claims. Combined, fast charging, long range, and extraordinary lifespan set the Blade Battery 2.0 apart from competitors. Yet, these figures raise a larger question. How will BYD support this battery beyond just the packs, through infrastructure and scaling? The answer unfolds as the network and ecosystem expand alongside this technology. BYD's roots and its leap in battery specs set the stage for a revolution not only in batteries, but in the entire EV experience, reshaping consumer expectations and industry strategies. Real-world impact on EV adoption. BYD's new battery promises to dissolve many of the fears that have kept drivers tied to gasoline vehicles for decades. Fast charging reduces the frustration and lost time that have long made electric cars less convenient for daily use and road trips. Waiting just 5 minutes to get a substantial charge transforms user experience, making EV ownership feel less like a compromise and more like a practical choice. Longevity is perhaps the most revolutionary element here. A battery guaranteed to last around 745,000 miles means that for most drivers, the battery will outlive the vehicle itself. This security erases concerns over costly replacements that have deterred many from buying electric vehicles. It fundamentally changes the resale value conversation, offering assurance that depreciation won't spike due to battery wear. Range improvements further cement this shift. Over 600 miles of real-world driving distance cross a psychological barrier for many buyers. The extended range combined with rapid charging smooths out the last rough edges of electric vehicle usability, making them suitable for longer trips with fewer stops and less anxiety. But perhaps the biggest obstacle lies beyond the battery itself, the existing charging infrastructure. Many potential owners simply don't have convenient access to reliable fast chargers, especially outside urban areas. BYD addressing this through its ecosystem ambitions means the battery's potential can translate into real-world benefits, removing logistical anxiety alongside range and charging concerns. Additionally, easing grid strain with smart energy solutions complements the battery's robust design. By pairing high-capacity batteries with on-site energy storage, BYD protects the power grid from sudden surges tied to mass fast charging. This integrated approach promises a more stable and scalable EV ecosystem, preventing local blackouts and reducing infrastructure stress. The psychological barrier EVs have faced includes a complex mix of convenience, safety, and long-term cost worries. BYD's innovations speak directly to these issues, shifting the narrative toward EVs as reliable, low-maintenance vehicles with manageable charging demands. This shift can catalyze faster adoption as consumer confidence grows. Governments and businesses watching these developments are already responding by funding battery research, infrastructure upgrades, and incentives to accelerate the transition. BYD's tangible advancements pressure policymakers to prepare for a future where electric vehicles dominate, reshaping regulations and investments. With these factors combined, BYD's battery technology isn't merely better on paper. It has the potential to accelerate an electric vehicle revolution few believed possible this soon. But a battery is only as good as the infrastructure supporting it, which brings us to the next frontier: charging networks. The charging network revolution. Charging an electric vehicle quickly and reliably requires more than just an advanced battery. It depends on a charging network capable of handling extremely high power demands without disruption. BYD's solution to this challenge is its Super E platform, engineered to support charging at 1,000 kilowatts and 1,000 volts. This is a major leap beyond the 400-volt systems used by many current networks, including Tesla's earlier superchargers. This level of power is essential for delivering the 5-minute charging experience BYD is promising, bringing EV convenience closer to traditional refueling. However, building a network capable of supporting such performance is no small task. BYD is undertaking a massive infrastructure rollout, with plans to deploy nearly 6,000 flash charging stations across more than 300 cities in China by mid-2026. This scale is designed to create a dense, reliable national network where drivers can access ultra-fast charging without long detours or uncertainty. By reducing the presence of so-called charger deserts, BYD is addressing one of the most persistent barriers to widespread EV adoption. At the same time, the company is expanding beyond China. BYD has announced plans to introduce 3,000 rapid charging stations across Europe by the end of 2026. This move signals a clear intention to compete on a global stage, directly challenging established networks like Tesla's supercharger system. Early infrastructure deployment could allow BYD to influence how charging standards evolve in new markets, positioning itself as both a technology provider and a network leader. A critical part of BYD's strategy is the integration of on-site energy storage at charging stations. Instead of relying solely on the grid for instantaneous power, these stations store electricity locally and release it when needed. This approach helps manage sudden spikes in demand when multiple vehicles charge simultaneously at high speeds. By smoothing out energy usage, BYD reduces strain on local power grids and lowers the risk of outages or instability. This system also supports the broader development of smart energy networks. Electric vehicles are no longer just consumers of electricity. They are becoming active participants in energy ecosystems. Through vehicle-to-grid technology, EVs can send power back into the grid during peak demand periods. BYD's charging infrastructure is designed with this future in mind, potentially transforming cars into mobile energy assets that contribute to grid stability. As battery technology improves, the need for robust charging infrastructure grows alongside it. Faster charging encourages more drivers to switch to electric vehicles, which in turn increases demand for accessible charging stations. BYD's synchronized approach, advancing both battery performance and charging networks, creates a powerful feedback loop that could accelerate adoption at an unprecedented pace. This network is not limited to personal vehicles. Commercial fleets, including buses, delivery trucks, and ride-hailing vehicles, depend heavily on uptime and efficiency. For these operators, fast and reliable charging is essential to maintaining productivity. BYD's high-capacity infrastructure is designed to support these heavy-duty applications, expanding its impact across the entire transportation sector. As the industry evolves, competition in charging technology will only intensify. BYD's rapid expansion and advanced platform give it a strong early advantage, but other players are moving quickly to catch up. The race to build the most efficient and widespread charging network highlights a key reality. Even the most advanced batteries need a powerful ecosystem behind them to truly transform transportation. BYD's transformative battery technology and its ambitious charging network plans together set the stage for a new era in electric mobility. The combined impact promises to dissolve long-standing barriers and push electric vehicles from niche to mainstream at a rapid pace. The global battery arms race. BYD's breakthrough is not just a milestone for one company, it marks a defining moment in the global race for battery supremacy. As battery technology becomes the backbone of the electric vehicle revolution, automakers and suppliers worldwide are accelerating their efforts to dominate this space through innovations in chemistry, large-scale manufacturing, and charging infrastructure. BYD's announcement has intensified competition across the industry, forcing rivals to rethink their long-term strategies, investment priorities, and technological roadmaps. Companies like CATL, another major player from China, are already racing towards similar goals by developing next-generation batteries with higher energy density, faster charging capability, and improved durability. At the same time, Japanese and South Korean firms are pushing forward with advanced lithium-ion improvements, while European automakers, including Mercedes, are heavily investing in solid-state battery research. These technologies promise even greater efficiency and safety, but they are still in various stages of development. The stakes could not be higher, because the company that ultimately masters battery technology will hold enormous influence over transportation, energy systems, and industrial supply chains for decades to come. The appearance of BYD batteries in Tesla Model Ys built in Berlin highlights a deeper shift within the industry. Rather than operating in isolation, companies are increasingly collaborating and integrating each other's breakthroughs. Tesla's decision to source battery cells from BYD reflects a growing recognition that innovation is no longer confined within a single brand. Instead, progress is being driven by a shared ecosystem where partnerships and cross-supply agreements are becoming the norm. This interconnected approach accelerates development, and underscores how battery advancements have become a global, collective frontier. Governments are also playing a major role in this evolving landscape. Around the world, policymakers are closely monitoring these developments and ramping up support for domestic battery industries. China's long-standing subsidies, infrastructure investments, and industrial policies have helped companies like BYD establish a strong competitive advantage. Meanwhile, the United States and European nations are committing billions of dollars to battery research, local manufacturing, and supply chain resilience. Their goal is not only to compete economically, but also to reduce reliance on foreign suppliers and secure critical materials. This surge of funding is fueling what many describe as a full-scale innovation arms race. It extends beyond battery chemistry into areas such as production efficiency, raw material sourcing, and recycling technologies. Companies are under pressure to deliver batteries that are not only more powerful and longer-lasting, but also more affordable and environmentally sustainable. BYD's achievement raises the bar significantly, setting new performance benchmarks that competitors must now match or surpass to stay relevant. However, this competition goes beyond technology alone. It is also deeply tied to geopolitics. Control over battery supply chains, especially key materials like lithium, nickel, and cobalt, has become a matter of national importance. Countries that lead in battery production and innovation gain strategic advantages in energy independence, economic growth, and environmental leadership. As a result, the race for battery dominance is shaping global alliances and trade dynamics in ways that extend far beyond the automotive sector. For consumers and the environment, the implications could be transformative. More efficient and durable batteries mean electric vehicles that are not only more affordable, but also more practical for everyday use. This could accelerate the global shift away from fossil fuel-powered transportation, significantly reducing greenhouse gas emissions and improving air quality in urban areas.